For today's lesson, we're going to work on comparing and ordering real numbers. The last few lessons we've covered for Unit 1, we worked on what real numbers are and the real number system. We worked on scientific notation. And we worked on square roots yesterday. Now we're going to work on putting those in order with other real numbers. You will have a test coming up on Friday, a quiz that covers all of the things that we've learned since school started. Make sure you're preparing for that and that you're looking at your warm-ups and the lessons that we've done in class. The first thing we need to know is that ordering numbers, if we order numbers in ascending order, that means from least to greatest. If we order numbers in descending order, that's from greatest to least. And the most efficient way to order numbers is to convert all the numbers to the same form and place them on a number line. If you'll open up your ordering numbers foldable, we're going to look at our numbers. We have 3 1/5, square root of 14, pi, square root of 36 divided by 2, and 11/3. To put these in ascending order from least to greatest, we're going to use a number line, and notice our number line goes from 3 to 4, and it has 10 spaces between there, so each of those marks represents a tenth. When we put these on a number line, the best way to do it is to change them all to decimal form. So taking a look at 3 1/5, we need to change this to a decimal. Now, to change 1/5 to a decimal, remember that we do top in, bottom out. We're going to have 1 divided by 5, and this will make up our decimal portion. 5 cannot go into 1, so we need to add a decimal and a 0, and we're going to bring our decimal straight up. Now, 5 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. There is no remainder. So 1/5 is the same as 0.2. Now, our whole number was 3. So we're going to have 3 for our whole number, and then 1/5 is equivalent to 0.2 or 2/10. So 3.2 is the first number that we have. Now, to place this on the number line, we're going to take a look. We have for our number line 3. It's marked 3.5 and 4. That means each of these marks represents 1/10. So here we have 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, and 4. Putting this on our number line, we're going to put a mark at 3.2, and we're going to label that with the number it started as. So this point right here is 3 1/5. The next one we're going to look at is the square root of 14. We know that 14 is not a perfect square. We can look at our multiplication chart and tell that. And 14 is between the perfect square, 9, and 16. So we know the square root of 14 has to be between 3 and 4. If we use our calculator to round the nearest tenths place, the square root of 14 is approximately 3 7/10. So we're going to put this on the number line. It's a little bit more than 3 7/10. It's about 3.74. So when we put this on the number line, we don't want to be right on 3.7. So let's find that on our number line. We have 3. Here's 3.5. So this is 3.6. This is 3.7. And remember, I said it's a little bit more than 3.7. So we're going to go a little bit to the right, and we're going to mark this where it started. This started as the square root of 14. So we're going to put above our number line, square root of 14. The next number we're going to put on our number line is pi. Remember that we estimate pi as 3.14. And it's irrational. It would keep going, but we can put this on our number line as 3.14. When we look at the number line, here's the number 3. This is 3.1 or 3 1/10. This is 3.2. We know that 3.14 is between 3.1 and 3.2. So on our number line, we're going to put a mark here for pi, and we're going to label it with the symbol pi. All right, our fourth number that we're going to put in order on our number line is the square root of 36 divided by 2. The square root of 36, we know that's a perfect square, so when we find the square root of 36, 6 times 6 is 36, so the square root is 6 in the numerator. In our denominator, we have 2. 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. Remember, fractions are just another way to write division. So we need to find 3 on our number line. We see that it's at the very beginning of this number line that we have numbered, and we're going to put a mark on 3. And above that number, we are going to write how this started. This started as the square root of 36 divided by 2. All right, the last number we're going to look at is 11 thirds. This is an improper fraction. We want to change it into a decimal. Remember, to change improper fractions to decimals, we do top in, bottom out. So 11 is our numerator. It goes inside. 3 is the denominator. It goes outside. 3 goes into 11 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 11 minus 9 is 2. We're trying to change this to a decimal, so we're going to add a decimal and 0 since we have a number that is remaining. Our decimal goes straight up, our 0 goes down. 3 goes into 20 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. 20 minus 18 is 2, and we need to add another 0. Our 0 comes down. 3 goes into 20 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. 20 minus 18 is 2. You'll notice there is a pattern that we start to get a repeating decimal. So 11 thirds is the same as 3.6 repeating. We're going to put that on our number line. We have 3.5 here in the middle. We're trying to get to 3.6 repeating. So here's 3.5. This next line is 3.6 or 3 6/10. If our decimal keeps repeating though, we do not want to put our mark right on that line. We're going to be to the right of it because our 6 repeats. So here we're going to have our point a little more than 3.6. We're going to write this how it started. It started as 11 thirds. Now that we have our numbers on our number line, we look from left to right if we are asked to put these in ascending order, from least to greatest. When you put these in ascending order, you need to make sure that you write them as they originally were. Our first number is square root of 36 divided by 2. Our next number is pi. Then after pi, we would have 3 1/5. After that, we have 11 thirds, and then we have square root of 14. If we were asked to list these in descending order, we would go from greatest to least, so the number line would help us see which of these is the greatest to the least. Make sure if you have any questions, you write those down in your journal and ask them in class tomorrow. You will be having a quiz over all of the information since school started on Friday.